Hey folks, a rational consumer here today with my review for Bloodborne, which bottom line up front, 10 out of 10, amazing, of course. This is a tricky one because, again, I want this channel to be providing people who don't have a lot of bandwidth advice on whether or not a particular piece of media is worth their time to consume, if it's going to be a worthy return on investment in the time that you spend into consuming that media. In the Soulsborne games in general, I think if you like them, they're going to be worth your time. It is sort of, I think there's two categories, either people who love them or people who don't really find that they are for them. I think they're worth your time because the way that you progress is by you getting better. It's not as much, going and farming for experience, leveling up, getting more powerful just by spending time not using your brain and then increasing power that way. You get better by actually analyzing what the enemies are doing, and you learn when to dodge, what attacks to use, and the cadence of particular boss fights. And I really think those games are worth our time because you can see yourself getting better, and it's a good way to stretch your brain. And often the worlds are very interesting and everything. If you're not into Soulsborne games, I think a great way to start would be to find one of your friends who is a big fan and just play exclusively with them. I first played Dark Souls 1 pretty much, I would say 90% of the bosses I killed with a friend. And then for Dark Souls 2, that number went down. For Dark Souls 3, that went down even further. And then so I just played Bloodborne and beat it entirely by myself. The thing that I wanted to talk about how I played Bloodborne was on PC, which was awesome. Real quick though, the things that I appreciated about Bloodborne or that made it stood out from the other Soulsborne games, obviously the atmosphere was really cool. Having it be set in this gothic sort of London-esque vibe was very cool. The style was definitely more my play style. So if you didn't know, there's really no shields. There's not as much armor. So it is focused on a play style that relies on parrying, or you can use your pistol to interrupt the enemy's attack, and then you get the big critical hits and everything. But it felt a little bit faster than some of the other Dark Souls games, or at least the builds that I used in the Dark Souls game. So it's kind of interesting, and then it forced you to go down that route. I've heard similar things about Sekiro, which the only Souls games that I still need to complete, at least the ones from FromSoft, are Demon Souls and FromSoft. So again, Bloodborne, 10 out of 10. If you like Souls games, highly recommend it. And even if you don't, it might be a good place to get started. But again, I would find a game that one of your Souls fans, buddies, will play with you. And that's the best way to break in. So how I played on PC, which was awesome. So I am a fan of cloud gaming, or streaming games from the cloud down to your local devices. I don't have a PlayStation 5. I have a PS4, but I hadn't gotten around to buying Bloodborne. I did, however, have a PlayStation Plus premium subscription. This is the more expensive subscription. It's like $18 a month now at this point. But it lets you stream games both to your PlayStation or to your PC. So the PlayStation Plus app for PC is honestly pretty bad. The app itself is pretty bad. But the streaming quality I found to be very good. I had concerns about playing a Soulsborne game over the cloud because typically you see at least, 10 milliseconds or so added to your latency when you're streaming from the cloud. And any more than that, and I would have concerns playing a Soulsborne game because your timing has to be pretty good. However, it was not noticeable at all for me streaming Bloodborne to my PC on the PlayStation Plus app. Now, I do have a 1 gig internet connection, and my PC is wired, so I would not recommend playing this, on your laptop or a wireless connection. But if you have a wired connection to your PC, I think this is a totally viable option to play Bloodborne. And you could, just subscribe for a single month beat it that month, and then cancel the subscription. But the subscription does have a lot of other PlayStation exclusive titles that I think are worth your time. But not only Bloodborne, they have the Demon Souls remastered game on there. They have a lot of the other PlayStation exclusives that you can stream to your PC. So that's my hot tip for the day. But again, for the review of Bloodborne, obviously it's amazing. And if you like Souls games, you should bump it up your list and play it. It will be worth your time. All right, I will see you in my next review.